got the here we go for Hugo Ekitike. Apparently, Liverpool and Frankfurt have agreed on a 95 million euros package for Hugo Ekitike, and personal terms have already been agreed between the French striker and Liverpool for a 6-year contract. Now, that's good news for Liverpool fans. I think the deal is best to get the deal done sooner rather than later. So Fabrizio Romano on his X put it out that Liverpool have indeed agreed that transfer with Frankfurt. And Frankfurt, what a club! What a club! A legendary club. They just know how to sell players. They know how to sell players. They had Sebastian Haller, sold him for 50 million euros to West Ham. They had Jovic, they sold him for 63 million euros to Real Madrid. Then now they've got Hugo Ekitike, they sold him off for 95 million euros. They bought him for 20 million euros from PSG and sold him for 95 million euros to Liverpool right now. So, and that's why I was so disappointed that Rafael Dorishimi, didn't get his move to Frankfurt didn't pull through. Hopefully they're going for him again. Probably they may get him for 50 million euros, and in a year or two, they possibly would also get him sold for maybe, who knows, 100 million euros, because they're very, financially smart and sharp club. They know how to time the market. So that's phenomenal business done for Frankfurt, and team that in the Champions League as well. That's billion from them. Liverpool now, I think they're project spending up to 300 plus million euros. So crazy spending. And while for me, this is what I want to say about Liverpool. I don't have any issues per se about spending money, because you want to win the Premier League, you want to win the best honors, top honors in European football, in world football. You have to spend that money. You have to get prime talent, and prime talent, costs a lot of money. So I have no issues with them. The only thing I have an issue with is the hypocrisy, because like for Liverpool, if Liverpool spends that money, no one says anything. No one makes any noise about it, not Sky Sports, not any of the mainstream media outlets. But if a Chelsea does it, if a Manchester City does it, it's all crazy. Look, Chelsea have spent 1.5 billion. Now they even include players that are not even, in the Chelsea team. They even include players that are not even in the man's team. Maybe players signed and loaned out to a different club. So it's just a bit odd to me the way the media tends to look at Liverpool like some sort of, non-governmental organization or a non-profit organization, maybe like UNICEF or WHO or one of those entities out there. So, but good business overall from them, and I think Hugo Ekitike is a very, very good player. Has high upside, but for me, I think though he has a lot of quality, he has to show that and prove that in the Premier League. He's skillful, got pace, can assist, can create. Now the issue is where is he going to play? Is he going to play centrally? Because Liverpool play with two wingers. He's going to play centrally. And then the other thing I also raised when he was linked with a move to Chelsea was this as well. At Liverpool, you've got Salah, and he is the best player at Liverpool. He is the most important player at Liverpool. So are you going to relegate him to becoming, this player that only comes up with assists? Or everything is still going to flow through him or flow towards him? Or the creative, purposes and intentions will flow towards Mo Salah? So that's a question I think Arne Slot will have to answer in this coming season. And right now, Liverpool, you have that big target on your back right now. You are the favourites to win the English Premier League. And if you don't win it, it would be a disastrous and horrible season, in my opinion. And then so, other news to talk about as well is Rashford. Marcus Rashford finally has gone to Barcelona. Here we go as well. And reportedly, he had to take a pay cut and Barcelona have agreed to pay his full salary for the season that he'll be there on loan. I think that's great. That should be great news for Manchester United fans. I know some Manchester United fans probably will be losing their minds and say, why didn't we get this much from him? We should have sold. No, sometimes in life and in business and in football, you don't get what you want. Sometimes you need to, lick your wounds and just count something out, something you've lost, and you go on, and then you begin to take next steps. So I think it's a good move for Rashford, because even if Rashford starts the season with Manchester United and scores 15 goals in let's say 10 games, and he struggles in the next 2 or 3 games, everyone will blame him. Even if, for instance, Amorim has him playing at left back. So I think it's best for both parties. Goes to Barcelona, let's see if indeed he gets to play. And then I think probably this is Barcelona's way of phasing Lewandowski out, because he's well into his 30s and he's never been a pacey player, but he's definitely not as athletic as he used to be. But the one question remains, because in Barcelona you never know, would they be able to register Marcus Rashford? Because they sign a lot of players, and then when it comes to registering the players, then that becomes an issue. But overall, I think that's a good move for Marcus Rashford to Barcelona. I think it's the best for both parties, in my opinion. And now, the here we go of the here we goes. The news that I want to talk about is Ademola Lookman heading to Inter Milan. Now, apparently, Inter Milan and Atalanta have agreed a fee for 45 million euros. For the transfer of Ademola Lookman. Now, for me, that's good news, because from a Nigerian perspective, I always say this, even with Victor Osimhen and other Nigerian players, I want them gone, have their transfer deals sorted out. You go to a club, you're playing week in, week out, you have your head in the right space, you're not having any issues of where you're going to live, where, how your family is going to travel from Italy to England or to relocate to where you are. You have that all sorted out. You're playing your football, so you have your head in the right head space. So when the World Cup qualifiers come around, when the AFCON come around, and indeed if Nigeria qualifies for the World Cup, when the World Cup comes around, you are in that prime mindset, prime footballing form, mind, spirit, and body to play for the Nigerian Super Eagles, the greatest team in the world. But anyways, so I think that's a good move for him, and I think Inter Milan have got the better deal of all of the three clubs. Now, why do I say they've got a better deal? Yes, don't make any mistakes about it. Hugo Ekitike has high upside, no doubt about it. But who is the better player at this time? It's Ademola Lookman. That's the truth about the matter. And now Marcus Rashford, he had his time at Aston Villa was a mixed bag. But Ademola Lookman has been consistent for the past 3 seasons. So he's better than this sort of two players. Don't make any mistakes about it. So happy that he's made the move, and I think good for him going into a World Cup year, going into an AFCON year, at least a year of two serious competitions. Is that you're not having to relocate. You're going back to a league, even if you're going to a different club, that's a bigger club, so you're going there, and you don't need to take too much time to acclimatize to the weather. Wow, you're in the same country, no issues about that. And you don't need too much time to acclimatize to the way Inter play. They play with the back three, so you have that left wing to yourself. And I think clubs like Arsenal, Manchester United, Liverpool, even Chelsea have missed out, or they've missed the trick on Ademola Lookman. So I think Inter have got the best deal of all these deals I've talked about today. Now, there's one thing I just wanted to mention as well. With the Ademola Lookman deal, a lot of people were going on about, a lot of Nigerian fans especially, the amount is too much, it's too slow, it's too low. Well, that's the world we live in, and sometimes Nigerian football fans out there, you contribute to this. You contribute to the devaluing of the Nigerian player. You do. When you're hypercritical of a player because he didn't join your club, you go full DEFCON 1 on a player. You're overly critical of a player. You damage a player's brand because you think, social media to help boost my engagement, blah, 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 blah. That's what you get. People don't get that Nigerian players start off from a disadvantaged position. It shouldn't be the case, because top talents coming out from Nigeria. But the way the league is set up, the way the grassroots system is set up, it's a lot difficult. So when you see Nigerian players come through the ranks, it's a lot difficult. And I know Ademola Lookman, he came up through the ranks in English football, but it also applies once you switch nationality to play for an African country, to play for a country like Nigeria. It applies. All the positive narrative you used to get, all the positive PR you used to get is out the window. And like I said, I've said numerous times on this video, on this channel, I used to be upset. I used to say, "Oh, why English media used to praise this player before? Why don't you keep on praising him, despite the fact that he's no longer an English player? He's still the same. He still has the same qualities that you used to praise him about." But I realized he's no longer their player. It is now the responsibility of Nigerians to prop up these players. Now, it would be nice, it would be lovely if Sky Sports looked at Ademola Lookman and put him in the same conversation with Cole Palmer. It will be nice. But that's not going to happen. So don't hold your breath. It is your responsibility as a Nigerian football fan, as a Nigerian football content creator. When you see a good Nigerian player, you talk about them. You don't just go, "Oh, I'll criticize this player," because that you think that makes you feel good or makes you feel like you're an objective Nigerian fan. I'm not going to praise this player because he's Nigerian. Yeah, I'm not telling you to tell people that I'm the best striker in the world. I'm telling you, look at, there's a Victor Osimhen out there. His numbers put him close to where you have your Hurricanes, where you have your Isaacs, but he doesn't get the pride of place. So that's the one truth we have to know. So don't want to eat your cake and have it. When you have been negative about a lot of Nigerian players, then you suddenly expect European clubs to have more positive outlook than those players than you. When those players end up playing for you, end up playing for your country, giving their lives on the pitch for you on the pitch, and then you somehow feel like you would disparage them, and then an European club will give them more value than you would, come off it. Don't stop kidding yourself. Just stop kidding yourself. So, on that note, I've come to the end of this video, and hopefully I'll see you on yet another video. Stay well, stay blessed. Bye-bye.